Welcome to Binge Watch. We're giving you our top picks of what's happening in the world of film and TV.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about the reality TV show that started it all.
ITV are bringing back Big Brother with new hosts and a new house. But can the original reality show compete in today's overcrowded market? Jacob, how excited are you to have it back?
I'm really excited. I was a massive fan of the show back when it was on, especially in those Channel 4 days. So the fact it's coming back, it might have felt a bit premature when they announced it, but now, like, the season has rolled around,
yeah,
I'm kind of really ready for it, and I'm really excited to see what ITV bring to it. I feel like it's in safe hands. You know, they've kind of pumped a lot of money and a lot of creativity into reality TV lately.
Yeah.
That it made complete sense.
Yeah.
For them to go, yeah, let's dust off Big Brother.
Yeah.
So I am excited.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they translate it for 2023, just because I feel like at the beginning it was so novel, and it was just the idea of, it actually was like a social experiment. The idea of being able to see people 24/7 in some cases was just bizarre. But now, with social media, we have that all the time. So I'm wondering what's gonna make it seem innovative this time around.
Yeah, it's funny because it kind of had to roll with the times when it was first on, from being that social experiment, as you say, to maybe embracing social media, and with that you kind of got, the housemates kind of changed, didn't they? It became less of a cross-section of the country and more potentially fame-hungry people, or people who had a following on social media. Whereas now I think they're going to intentionally try to curate that social experiment feel. So I'm really hopeful that it's going to feel as fresh as it weirdly as it did in 2001.
Yeah, I guess it will have to, because it can't regress back to what it was, just because that can't exist.
People don't
today.
really want it, because they did it on Channel 5, and ultimately those series were kind of well liked, sure, but I don't think it was vintage Big Brother. I think people were kind of done. So Will Best is presenting with AJ Odudu. And they are, first and foremost, they are actually friends outside of the show. So I think that's actually going to be great, because they're going to have some ready-made camaraderie. There's going to be no awkwardness.
2:17 p.m. AJ and Will are in the trailer, butchering a classic.
Because if you think about Davina and Dermot, when they were the family, and Emma and Ryland on Channel 5, they had great chemistry, and I think you need the host to kind of guide you through. And when I spoke to Will, I asked him about what the new era of Big Brother is going to bring, and also about some of his favourite moments and housemates from the past 23 years of Big Brother. Here is what he said.
Hello.
Hello, Will. How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well. Happy
Good.
to have you here.
Thanks. Yeah, it's good to be here.
Good, man. And now it's ramping up. It's coming. It's here.
Yeah.
I have to ask you, are you a fan of Big Brother?
I am a big fan of Big Brother. It's one of those shows, isn't it, that everyone's been a fan of Big Brother at some point in their life. And I remember when it first came out, it was such a huge deal, not just in terms of TV. It felt like a proper cultural moment. And so I was kind of totally hooked right from the start. And I remember those early series on Channel 4. My whole family, everybody would gather around the TV to watch Big Brother. My dad is not your traditional reality TV guy. He'd be there every night, 9 p.m, lapping it up, telling us who to vote for, getting the phone for us. It was a full kind of family thing. And then, I just that love for the show sort of never left me. And if you told my younger self that one day I would be hosting it, I would have not believed you.
Quite wild.
It is quite wild. But it's not often you get to host a show which is something that you absolutely love, and that is happening now.
It's happening, whether you like
soon.
It or not.
Yeah.
And you and AJ Odudu are stepping into some big shoes.
We are.
Obviously, Davina McCall, Dermot O'Leary, Emma Willis. Have you spoken to any of them?
So, Emma and AJ are really good mates.
Okay.
So vicariously through AJ, I've received advice from Emma. AJ always says this, we're not going to be the next Emma and Rylan.
Yeah.
We are the current Will and AJ. So it's kind of like, also, it's not the sort of show that you can, you're quite limited in terms of the preparation you can do. Because it depends on the housemates, right? Like it's a show where we have no idea what's going to happen. That's, I think, why it's such an enduring format. Like,
absolutely.
There's very few opportunities for it to be produced. Once it starts, you have the tasks, but that's it. Like, it's like the most hands-off kind of production.
Anything goes, right?
Anything goes, right? And I think that means that it's going to be interesting and it's going to be authentic, and whatever happens is going to be real. But it also means that, like, we can't rehearse. Like, some of the stuff that has happened, there'd just be no way that you could possibly have, like, planned for the stuff that goes on in that house.
And does that excite you or make you kind of more nervous?
It excites me because I love live telly anyway.
Yeah.
And I've done quite a lot of live stuff in the past, and I love the fact that you react. You can only prep so much and then it's done. Like, that's good. But I also like the fact that me and AJ are going to be discovering stuff and experiencing it along with the audience.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, if there's an exit interview, we're going to be asking the questions that we, as fans of the show, want to know the answers to. And we're going to be reacting to everything in real time as well. So, no, I think that just makes it all the more fun.
You're steering BB into a new era, and I'm hoping there is some element of similarities to what was there before, but how do you think or hope it's going to differentiate from what came before?
It's going to be totally different, man, I think. Tonally, the show will feel different. Yeah. And then compared to 2000, when it first came out, I mean, that may as well have been like the 1800s. Like, it's completely different worlds.
Would you have ever, if you were not a presenter or in any way famous, have auditioned for Big Brother?
I mean, I think I'd be too scared. I think I know that I don't think I'd be a very good housemate because I would be so pathetically eager to please.
Yeah.
I would want everyone to like me, and it would be, people would see straight through it.
Yeah.
The worst thing, I remember, like, from previous series, you'll remember this as a fan, like, the worst thing that people could be accused of is being fake. And I think people would be like, no one is that.
Is that nice?
Is that nice?
And
I'm not.
Yeah.
I would be being fake. Yeah. But I do it.
We've all got a bit of a dark side,
yeah,
don't we?
Yeah.
No, it's funny because it's like always like sitting on the fence is actually, just playing it safe is actually not the way forward.
No.
Do you find yourself thinking about the months ahead, and what is it that you kind of find yourself feeling most hyped about?
The show is, not only is it a big show, but it's a big show for me in terms of a show that I love. It's not been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, it's been this kind of abstract concept at the end of the year. Like, Big Brother's coming back. I can't even imagine what that's going to be like. After the first production meeting, it went from being this kind of like abstract thing of like, oh my God, Big Brother's coming back. Well, I can't even get my head around it. To like, oh, it's going to be a show and it's going to be amazing. And they were taking us through, you know, walk through the house and like a running order for the opening night.
Favourite housemates? I know you mentioned Sandy, which is such a left field answer. I love it. Over the years, I mean, what makes a good housemate, firstly?
Range. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, these people are characters, right? And they become like characters that kind of live in our lives for the time that they're on. So you want to see a journey. Do you know what I mean? You want to see people. You want to see people learning from the experience, growing from the experience of being in there. You want to see people who are able to have fun, who aren't afraid of a bit of drama. You know, who can be explosive and unpredictable. I mean, like Nikki Graham, right? She's one of the all-time great housemates because she had everything. Yeah. She had some of the most legendary rants.
Who is she? Who is she? Who is she?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Something we should all be asking ourselves, who am I? Who are we? And Nikki wasn't afraid to ask that. So she had those kind of amazing rants, but she also had moments, you know, that were funny and charming and sweet. And then her reaction when she left the house. Do you remember, like, because the crowd when you exit, that has got to be quite an extraordinary experience to step up because nobody knows when you're in there how the public have taken to you.
Absolutely.
So she was terrified that she was gonna maybe not get the best reaction, was gonna be a bit of booing or whatever. But the reaction she got when she left of like thousands of people,
right? Yeah.
Rapturous applause and cheering, and just that kind of final thing of her just like crying tears of joy. That's a great narrative arc.
Yeah, it is.
Do you know what I mean? She had moments when she thought, that people weren't going to like her, and then she came out. She was a hero.
She was,
She had everything.
absolutely.
So I really liked Jedward
Yeah.
in there. But then I watched like clips of Jedward back, and I love them. But that was quite a one-dimensional performance.
Yeah.
In that Jedward were just Jedward.
Yeah, the whole
Well,
way
the whole
through.
time they were in there,
Yeah,
they were just Jedward,
and if you meet them
which
now,
is great.
they are
They're
Jedward.
Jedward. Yeah, which is great, which ticks that authenticity box. But some of the stuff that they used to do, like pranksters, do you remember them like flooding the bathroom and using each other as mops and stuff? Absolutely wild behaviour.
If you live with them, you would be a bit frustrated.
It
wouldn't
would
you?
be. It's a miracle people didn't get a little bit more annoyed. When it was announced that I was doing it,
Yeah.
I actually got a voice note on the day it was announced from Jedward.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they left me a voice note on Instagram with a song, and they sang. I think they sang "Let Me Be Your Hero." You know that Enrique Iglesias song.
Yeah.
I need to remind myself. They did like a duet of "Let Me Be Your Hero."
Yeah. Here's a question: if you could pluck, and it can be someone you've said already, an old housemate, and put them in with the new lot in this series, who would you pick? Just like so, you perhaps selfishly, so you could like just watch them again.
That is a really good. That's a really one of my favourite storylines that I really enjoyed and had a big impact on me. Do you remember the kind of will they won't they bromance with Craig and Anthony?
Oh yeah,
Yes, that was an amazing. That was an amazing thing.
Yeah.
I'd like to see something like that. Maybe it's because when it came out, I think I was interviewing him quite a lot on like T4 and stuff. Dappy. What's Dappy up to?
Dappy.
I think get Dappy in that house.
Absolutely.
Like, because he's still making music.
Yeah.
He's a very talented rapper still.
I
He's
reckon he'd say yes as well. If he
I
was
think he'd
asked.
say yes, and I think he would. I think he'd be an interesting addition. He would feel like a normal, like a real
Absolutely.
person
That's the
going
key.
in there.
That's the key.
But with that dappy edge.
Yeah, for
you know?
sure. The
With a
dappy
dappy
edge.
edge. That sounds like an insult.
What's the you know, like a lot of housemates used to go in, I guess, in the later series, thinking that maybe they could get some form of deal coming out of it. This year, do you think there'll be a smaller amount of that with the housemates?
I think
that are
so.
selected?
I think so. And I think you know it will. Like, look, that comes down to the casting as well, to an extent. And I think one of the, people's reasons for going in there are obviously interrogated, as part of the selection process.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people who are going to become big fans of this series, they'll only really know Big Brother from TikTok. I mean, a friend sent me a stat the other day, and this was a while ago, so it will be much more now, but like 16 billion views of like Big Brother clips, UK Big Brother clips on TikTok. But a lot of people watching that, they won't know the context. They'll just think, oh, that's funny or weird or whatever.
Do you envision this kind of running for a few series now?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
ITV it's kind of the home of reality TV now, right?
Yeah.
And they've done such an amazing job with other reality formats. They know what they're doing. And like the team behind it are just like some of the best people in telly. Like it's got everything going for it. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful it will run and run.
And working with AJ, working with AJ,
Yes.
Who are you friends with AJ?
Yeah. Yeah, mate. So me and AJ met like 10 years ago, maybe. Yeah, I think we first worked together. Yeah, in like 2013, 2014. We just became really good mates. So we've known each other for years. Like we worked together last summer on a show for Red Bull. And before that, it'd been lockdown and stuff, so we haven't worked together, but we still hang out. Like, we're like actual mates.
Come on, get that finger up.
I mean, AJ is like one of my favourite people in the world. She is so lovely and like genuinely like kind, and she's also one of the funniest people I know. Like, she is just hilarious, and she's so like authentic. She's one of those presenters who manages to be a really like slick presenter. Like, she's amazing at her job, but also like has a feeling of being like unfiltered and authentic and reactive and funny and all of those things. So, this would be hosting a show like this that I love so much. So I'm putting pressure on myself to do a good job because I love the format. Like, that would be even more daunting if I wasn't doing it with like my mate.
Yeah, I mean, I personally can't wait to see who's going into the house, because I mean, that's what matters. The house.
Yeah, no, the housemates are, I mean, if you look at past series, they are made by the housemates. Series live and die by them, basically. I can't wait either, just to see who, I remember back in the day, like I was a massive fan, and would just be, just like really champion certain people, and sometimes it was for no rhyme or reason, you know. So I'm really excited as well to see what this new era is going to bring in terms of the housemates, whether they go for some who are quite wild, or whether it's just going to be just a really fun selection of people, as Will said, people who would never ordinarily meet in real life, who are just thrust together in this extraordinary situation. The housemates are probably the most important part of Big Brother, so I'm very excited to see. And we'll get to meet all of the housemates going into the new series of Big Brother on ITV, ITV1 and ITVX on the 8th of October at 9 p.m.
We'll be sure to tune in, and thank you for watching Binge Watch on independent TV.
We'll see you again next time. Like and subscribe to us on YouTube.
Follow us for all the latest trailers and updates on Instagram and TikTok.